Hey, this is Kat of Kattalestv, and I want to do a follow-up story in regards to Suge Knight. If you haven't heard, Suge Knight's girlfriend and his business partner were indicted last week for, I'm going to look at my notes so I say it correctly, violating a court order, obstruction of justice, and conspiring to commit grand theft by the Los Angeles District Attorney. Now, just to put this all together, Suge Knight is in jail awaiting trial for the murder of Terry Carter, which happened in 2015, early January. This goes back to that whole Straight Outta Compton issue where Suge Knight felt like he should have gotten paid for his likeness being in the movie, and he decided to go to the set even though there was a restraining order against him. Instead of having an attorney handle the issue, and even though he was on probation at the time, he decided to go there. An altercation happened. Suge Knight lost his temper. He ran over two people. One was killed, Mr. Carter, and the other one was injured, Cleveland Sloan. So fast forward, Suge Knight's side was able to get the surveillance footage, and I don't think anyone knew this at the time, because I surely didn't, but they had the surveillance footage. They brokered a deal and negotiated with TMZ to buy the footage. Originally, I think they asked for something like maybe $500,000. Don't quote me on the $500,000, but the end result, the deal was done for $55,000. Now, at the time, I thought it was very odd that TMZ was playing that video over and over again ad nauseum on their site and on their TV show. I noticed at the time they would write a story and then show the video again with the story, and they just kept doing it. And I was thinking, why are they trying to brainwash people with this disgusting violence? I never watched the video all the way. What I did do was I'd read the comments that people were saying, and I just had an epiphany. It's similar to what's happening right now with the Facebook Russian bots, fake ad type things going on with the Russiagate. In other words, it was almost like a PR company was pushing their agenda to try to make Suge Knight look innocent and promote the tape, which I thought is very, very strange, because most sane people thought the tape made him look guilty. But now, knowing who was involved and how much money they made, it makes a lot of sense why TMZ kept showing the video over and over again. They wanted to get their money's worth. And what's shocking about this is Harvey Levin, who runs TMZ, is an attorney. You would think he would know better. And also, TMZ has been sued multiple times for employee issues like sexism, misogyny, making it a very difficult workplace for people to work. But that's neither here nor there, except to say they have access to some of the top attorneys, and that's one reason why most people that go against TMZ are very unsuccessful. So knowing all that, and they're a powerful company, why would they put themselves at risk to buy that tape by a man accused of murder and then promote his agenda on their show? They constantly promoted his side. So either they intentionally were helping him by promoting positive, what I mean by positive, not like a normal type positive, like in a Donald Trump type positive where any negative publicity is good publicity. In other words, it promoted that agenda of the thug life, that, Suge Knight was this massively tough guy, Teflon Don. You couldn't kill him, you couldn't shoot him, you couldn't get him behind bars. It was very, very strange how there was a real big media push by TMZ to promote Suge Knight's narrative, to defame other people that Suge Knight was made victims. And they also helped Cat Williams as well, promoting his agenda. And it's just fascinating. I wonder if the PR teams of criminals pay TMZ to give them positive promotions on their site, because now everything's suspect when I look back of how everything went down. So getting back to present time, you have Suge Knight, who's currently awaiting trial for the murder of Mr. Terry Carter, which happened in 2015. And you have him using his girlfriend to work as a conduit to sell the tape to TMZ. And you also have his business partner negotiating and trying to get the best offer to promote their side of the case. Meanwhile, before this came out in the press and before these two people were indicted, Miss Kelly and Mark Blakenship, they were on multiple news sites, websites, newspapers, television shows. I remember seeing Suge Knight's fiance saying how Suge Knight was just a big bear and misunderstood. And to know that he would set up his girlfriend to take the risk of getting him in trouble, and I think they have a son together, kind of shows what kind of people we're dealing with. So is this just a regular crime that's handled under the regular small court, or is this a federal crime that shows that they're a group of gang members or a mob working on behest of Suge Knight, as in racketeering, as in trying to make a profit out of felonies? And to me, this is a case for RICO. And I don't know why they're not being tried under federal law, because obviously they have a kind of mob mentality where they believe they can they can intimidate people, threaten people. Also, I didn't mention in this video, but I did on the last one, Suge Knight's been indicted for threatening the director of Straight Outta Compton, and that's why he was in court last week. So, besides a robbery, besides a murder, he's also been indicted for threatening the director, F. Gary Gray. So even behind bars, nothing stops this man. Even when he's in court, he talks to people in the courtroom when he's not supposed to. So it's like, it's a Suge Knight syndicate. He's above the law. So I just find this very, very fascinating. And it's also interesting that some of the people that Suge Knight's been involved with, Alki David, who owned the Hologram USA studio that Suge Knight and Cat Williams left and then robbed someone. Alki David is being sued again for sexual harassment. And his business here in Beverly Hills is moving to another location. But yet, he hasn't had any big deals with his hologram service as far as I can see in the newspaper. But you know what's interesting too is Alki had a lot of dealings with TMZ in the past, with Dinah Dazrath, and getting positive publicity when he was doing stuff with George Zimmerman. Yes, George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin story. So you're dealing with people that are really, well, they're a gang of people they're simpatico. They do things that are very, very shady. And it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens. Is justice actually going to be served? Or is Suge Knight going to constantly get more field trips out of jail because he's committed another crime, allegedly, while he's behind bars awaiting trial. It just seems like it's a little game for him, that he's elongating his trials, and he can go to the courtroom and he can communicate. For all we know, he's got ways to communicate with the people in the courtroom that are his friends that we don't even know about, because he's so used to being in the court system. He has at least 17 cases in his history in LA County dating back to the mid-1990s. So it just seems like LA does not take repeat criminals, offenders seriously. And he is a threat, but yet they don't act like it when he's out of jail. They only act like it when he's in jail. But they don't put down the law. So it's going to be, like I said, very interesting what they find out. Did TMZ actually, are they guilty of collusion? Did they aid and abet a murderer and some of his den of thieves? Tune in tomorrow to the Suge Knight Syndicate. So anyway, this is Kat of Kattalestv. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit like. And please subscribe. And watch my other videos. I have 400 on YouTube right now. And I have so much more. Also have a .com, Kattalestv, and I'm on Twitter at Kattalestv. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this case. But in regards to the murder trial, it's set in stone for January 18th. So that one's going to be a doozy. But also, I think I said her name right, I hope, Toilin Kelly, Mr. Knight's fiance, she goes to court again this week. And today is Saturday the 7th, today's Saturday the 16th. So next week she'll be in court again, and then Suge Knight goes to court, I believe, in October 3rd for making threats against Mr. F. Gary Gray. And Mark Blakenship, I don't know when he's going to be in court. I do believe that Suge Knight's fiance has a bail set at $2 million. So again, I'm really confused. Why aren't these people being hit with racketeering and serious crimes in regards to being a gang? And also, they made $55,000 off of that sale of that video. And we don't even know how much money TMZ made off of that video, because they showed it so many times on their website. The more hits you get on a website, the more money you're able to charge for advertising. Plus, they license probably the video to other news agencies, because that video showed everywhere. And even if they didn't get paid for licensing the video to other news shows and other websites, they got publicity that helped their brand, because TMZ was on that video when it was embedded on other people's sites. So they got ill-gotten gains off of a murderer and an innocent man being killed, and people thought it was funny. And I just find this disgusting. I really do. So I'm outside, as you can tell. So like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope justice prevails, but who knows? Sometimes justice is bought, obviously, and justice is cheap. Bye.